What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Real Value Exchange podcast. I'm your host, Joe Lemon. Today's a fun episode, especially for those that like to talk shop about where this physical medicine space is going, especially from a cash-based perspective. All right, so I have my guy, Dr. Nissim, on with me, man. You guys will enjoy this one. It got a nice little bit of punchy stuff in there. Some good takeaways about how to set your prices properly and the importance of not exchanging your time for money. Okay, let's get into it.
Well, whether you're ready or not, here we go. Boom. Roy, you know what, man? I'm really glad to have you back on the podcast. We were talking about some interesting topics, and I said, hold up, man. We got to press record on this because this is something that I think a lot of people that I come across, whether PTs, chiropractors, people that's in this physical medicine world, right? It really seems like you're either really lost in that insurance world, you know, where you're like, man, everything's insurance and you're trying to fight your way, just trying to get out of that. Or once you fight out of that, you're going into this time, like everything's being exchanged for your time. And you had some interesting comments, bro. So if you don't mind, welcome back first and foremost, welcome back onto the podcast. And now let's dive right into it.
Well, I think the issue is I see two kinds of chiropractors. I'm just going to talk chiropractic for a minute. Okay. I got the straight chiropractors. You come in, put your head down, click, clack, you're out the door in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You got these soft tissue specialists, exercise specialists, and everything's based on time. Oh, you're going to see me for $100 for a half hour. So there needs to be some kind of medium here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I give the analogy with medical doctors, when you go see a medical doctor, he charges you what price? It can be for 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes. You're charged for that one price.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the medication's additional or any kind of other testing's additional, but his time, his work is one price. He doesn't say, you never call a medical doctor's office and say, how much time are you going to spend with me?
It's true.
It's ridiculous. But now when we're like, for instance, I'm not inexpensive. I'm not inexpensive. I'm pretty pricey on my end. But I'm one price. It covers my eval, my initial visit, or it covers my follow-ups. It's all the same price. What I do is what I do. I don't charge extra for any kind of technology or just my hands or my technicians see you. That's the price. You come in, you're getting my expertise. That's how much the price is. And I think we lose that as chiropractors, especially the ones that are soft tissue and exercise specialists. We base it on time. You know who does that? Is physical therapists. Because that's
too, right?
Insurance. Everything's based on insurance by time. Screw the insurance. Right now, insurances are suing chiropractors for money back. I don't think you know that.
Talk about it, man.
I know a lot of doctors, not just in California, but throughout the United States, and it can be from personal injury, like from companies like State Farm or whatever, or even like United Healthcare, or reaching out to doctors and say, you owe us money. Why? Because we overpaid you, or you misbilled, or whatever the excuse they're coming up with. But yet you're having medical doctors prescribe, opioids and all this garbage, and they're not getting money, asking to get that money back or whatever the BS is happening. So I think going cash is the way of the future.
Yeah.
You might have to charge a little less. You might need to see a little more, but that's the same thing when you do insurance. Same thing.
Man.
You get less and you see more.
Man, so, talking to the people that are like, okay, I'm definitely going to go the cash route. But I'm torn between charging a la carte, where like I charge you for everything that I do. Like if you use the pizza wave, if you use the pen, if you do any type of like corrective exercise, then those are all separate charges versus what you're doing. Like, can you kind of state the case of why you chose to go to flat fee over going another route?
Perfect. Good question. So it's personal interest, right? When I go to a doctor, I don't want to be nickel and dime.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go, this is the price. Yeah. I'm not walking out, I did this to you, that. I don't care about that. It's one price. Now, if I sell you like straps or whatever, that's additional. That's like add-on. But anything to treat the patient, to make them feel better, for how I feel, because I can sleep at night, I feel great about it. I don't try to upcharge. I'm not trying to sell anyone.
Yeah.
I need my goal. You come to my office, my goal is to get you better as fast as I can. I don't like to see the same patient every time I'm at the office. I don't care for that. It gets boring. Yeah. I want new people. I want new faces. I want Joe to say, dude, you got to go see Dr. Roy. He's great. Saw him a few times. I'm out the door. I see him now. I just piss him off to see him once in a while just because I want my maintenance, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because if you work out and train hard, you're gonna need maintenance. As simple as that. I get treated once a week because I hit it hard. If I hit it hard, I need to get treated.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at all the professional athletes, they all get treated constantly, right? But we don't have endless amount of money. You know, if you do, great. If you don't, maintenance is the way to go. And that's how you do preventive. So it's like, you know, changing your oil and all that kind of stuff.
Love that, man. I mean, man. So what's really interesting about this from a business standpoint, because that's the only aspects I can really speak to. I don't treat anyone, of course, right? But when it comes to talking about marketing, I was talking to this group of docs, and we were talking about different marketing strategies. Sean was on the call with me, and it was one of those things where we were talking about these different ways you can run ads, Facebook ads, SEO, all this stuff, right? And I was like, but look, if you got a bad product, like, I don't care what you're throwing at it. I mean, you might get people through the door, but they're going to be out the door as fast as they're coming in. So having a great product is the first step of marketing. Like, I don't care what else you do. It's the foundational piece, right? So when you talk about having a flat fee, I think that kind of plays into the overall patient experience where you're not coming in guessing of how much you're going to walk out with the bill, I think that plays into it. But you were also speaking about something about being efficient with your time and focusing on the treatment outcomes. Can you press into that a little bit, man?
Yeah. So I had a patient that came in yesterday, and she treated with other doctors that do exactly the same techniques as me. And I'll tell you, there's two patients. So one, when they look at me and I say, they come out with all these, I have this issue, this issue, this issue. I go, pick one, because I'm not here for an hour treating you for everything. You're taking up my time and try to heal you everything because you want to come that one time for my one price. Yeah. And that's the game people want to play. And I don't play that game. Yeah. You're coming for one ailment, pick that one ailment that bothers you the most, and that might correct the rest. You never know. But I always tell them, pick the one thing, and I'm efficient with my time. And, the girl said, I've been having headaches for 3 years. Okay. Has anyone looked at your jaw before? Mm-hmm. No. Why would you say that? You clench at night. I don't think so. When I touch her jaw, it's like the clamp. It doesn't open well. And you look at these tissues around the back of the head and around the jaw, did that kind of stuff. And most people don't adjust the occiput. It's very important. I did that. She was mesmerized. Headache went away immediately.
Wow.
Because I never had that much relief in my life. I'm like, there you go. That treatment took me 10 minutes. Me talking to her took me 30 minutes, and then treating her was 10 minutes. Did she get her money's worth? I don't know. But I didn't need to waste my time trying to put muscle stim and massage crap. I didn't need a massage. It's either boom, boom, boom. You either know it or you don't. Yeah. If you put fluff, you're wasting your own time. And I think a lot of doctors, especially in the soft tissue world, fluff. And I hate fluffing.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
People are like, why don't you put those stim pads things on it? I don't do that. That's not my office.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. I don't do that. I'm very efficient with my time, and I think every doctor should be efficient. And the only way to get efficient, Joe, and I think people, as chiropractors especially, most doctors, education. Keep educating yourself. Tony Robbins says the way to get paid more is to be educated more, to educate yourself more. Show value, and that's the only way I got better. Is keep going to these seminars.
Well, look, coming from the patient standpoint, like, I don't need anybody to take up a certain amount of time for me to get the value out of it personally. Like, personally, as a patient coming in your office or anybody else's office, I'm like, hey, I want the outcome. If I probably came in for a reason, normally. Yeah, I mean, I normally don't go into a stranger's place for like maintenance. I go to maintenance to people that have already proven that they're able to help me to like a certain degree. And so if I'm coming there for a reason for the first time, I just want the results, right?
But there's people that a long time ago, I treated this woman literally 5 minutes. She couldn't move her neck. I was able to move her neck in 5 minutes. It was just like quick and easy, one move, an adjustment.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm like, yeah, are you out of pain? Yeah. I go, can you move your neck? Really well. So what are you asking me for? Yeah. What more do you need? Well, the other doctor did. I'm like, I'm not the other doctor. Go see him. I'm here. You had pain and you couldn't move your neck. You have no pain. You can move your neck. I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
Yeah.
You got the outcomes you asked for. I met your goals. There's the door. There's nothing more around that. It's like, I can't put fluff.
Yeah.
Fluff is just a waste of time.
It is, man. But a lot of people think that's how you build value, and that's really just how you piss people off. A
Yeah.
lot of good people, right? Because don't get me wrong, some people like this to kind of eat up the clock. Normally, those aren't your best clients either way. I mean,
Right.
man, you have this quote that's next to your desk. Do you have it memorized?
It's on my other desk, but let me look it up. I'll look it up, but
While you're looking it up, it's a really good quote, man. I mean, about how you shouldn't exchange time just for dollars. I mean, it's such a losing strategy. And one of the things that I think that if doctors could really get their arms around being more efficient, whether that's through maximizing their time through staff, like hiring the right people to help execute different things for them. I mean, I think that's a great strategy as well that I've seen you do, or just getting to the result. If it takes 12 minutes or if it takes 36 minutes, the result is what I'm there for, you know?
exactly. And that's where I'm different from a lot of people. My assessments takes longer sometimes than my treatments because I need to know how to get to that problem quicker. That's the differential. If you ask me how you differentiate, I try to get to the problem faster than everyone else, and it takes a while. It takes a lot of training, and I think that's where we lose ourselves.
Hmm. Do you have any training courses that you recommend these days?
If you're going for the soft tissue or the exercise route or both.
Soft tissue side.
The soft tissue side, I like, I still think the gold standard of is active release just because they're like a cult that you literally get the hands on, you understand the tissue,
Yeah.
they explain the tissue very well. I think if not as the top level next to them is FDL, the shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah,
That's
see.
the model. Highly recommend those guys. They were ex-ART guys and they do a great job. The functional range people are good. They're a lot of these guys were ex-ART people that went their own route.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why these ART guys went and did their own thing. They saw, all right, this could be better. This is how. And so I would recommend anything in those realms. I always recommend the SFMA for assessing. I think it's a good start.
Yep.
You learn to do that. The selective movement, whatever the functional assessment with Greg Rose. He's great at that. But anywhere that can teach you how to get to a problem faster is a good start. Because it doesn't. I'm going to quote my great mentor, Dr. Bob Meyer.
Let's get it.
No matter how you rub it, crack it, exercise it, it's how you get from point A to point B fastest.
Yeah. He's right. He's 100% right, man. Gotta love that guy, man. Bob Myers, hands down, one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen, experienced personally. I remember going to his clinic out there, like in Austin, the first day I met him. I'm not sure if you referred me or if he referred you. I forgot how this kind of bounced.
He referred you to me.
Okay, cool. So I went to him first then. And, normally I'm there for like an hour, maybe 2 hours if we really like each other. If we're really getting crazy, it's 2.5. You know what I mean? We're really getting out of control. 10 hours with this guy, bro. Like I was sweating. I came in and I'm like, this is my only meeting for the day. I'm thinking I'm going to just, enjoy the rest of the day. I'll probably get something to eat twice, just hang out, nothing else planned. And then I'm going to fly home. 10 hours sweating. And then I go right to the airport. I'm like, whoa, this guy is out of control. I haven't experienced anything like that before. And since, really, honestly, because he was just like back to back to back to back to back. And then he, took me out and then he got me some Tito's and that was a problem. And then and then I went right to the airport. So.
It was when I met him at a seminar.
Yeah.
He blew my mind. It was like, well, how many seminars are you doing? And he goes, and I go he was doing like 8 seminars or 10 seminars a year.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you're nuts. Here's a quote. If I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years learning how to do that in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes.
That's it, bro. That's it. That was going to be at the very beginning of the podcast, bro. I mean, because look, that sets the tone though, man. And as we get ready to wrap up though, I do kind of want to talk about a couple of things. When we're thinking about Bob Myers, right, and talk about someone that's like work ethic is through the roof, it's hard to really even try to like understand that until you get around it. For people that are running their practice, right, and we see this a lot now because we're starting to work with people more and more, and we're starting to pick up the, open up the actual engine, see what's really going on with these businesses. And a lot of times, can we be honest and say that the work ethic seems to be a little bit lagging? You know,
Yep.
it
Yep.
seems like it's a V8 from the outside, and you open it up, you're like, man, there's only two cylinders in here.
True.
I mean,
True.
so how do you help someone get from that place of, okay, I'm doing good, I feel like I'm maxed out, but you're up at 4:30, or you're working out at 4:30, from what I understand. You're up pretty early
I
every
work
day.
out at 5. If I do my morning, if I'm not working in my office,
Yeah,
I'm at the gym by 5, and I'm
yeah,
out by like 6:30. And then if I'm at the office, I wake up at 3 to get to the office by 5, because
yeah.
it's 45 miles away. It's 45 miles away. So, and then I do my workouts at the end of the day.
How,
So go
how did
ahead.
you get that mindset? How did you get into that?
So one day I was listening to The Rock, and
Okay.
I heard what time he wakes up to work out. I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
And then I heard Mark Wahlberg does it. I'm like, I can do it with these guys. So
Hmm.
I was able to. You just get into that mindset. And there is something to say about some people do better in mornings and some people do it better at night. I'm a morning person.
Same.
I can wake up early in the morning, crank out a hard workout like nothing, and then work the day. By 9 p.m., I'm pretty much doing talk to them. I'm like done.
Yeah.
And coffee doesn't do anything for me. Caffeine doesn't really do much.
Hmm.
I'm just immune to that stuff. It's really pure energy and my drive to keep going. And I think certain people are more driven than others, and whatever drives you. But I think to be quote unquote successful
Yeah.
in anything, you have to put the time and effort into it. You want to be successful, being a better husband, father, your friend, you got to put time
Yep.
and effort. And if you don't have time and effort, you're just wasting your day.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I think there's something to be said too about the people that you're used to running with and associating yourself with, even if they aren't good friends. But like, I think you told me that you have a client that comes in early too, right? I mean, that was meeting you at the clinic maybe once or twice a week. I forgot, but I mean, but they were early. They were early risers as well. I mean, I'm sure that stuff has to play off on you to a degree. You know?
Yeah. If they're expecting me to be there, I'm there, I don't
Yeah.
waste time. And my days are usually packed. There's no breaks. And if I sometimes I need a break to just eat something,
Yep.
and I force myself to like move away, and still stay hydrated, and be healthy as best I can. But I
Yep.
think a lot of doctors, and I think where a lot of them miss the boat, it goes back to the two schools of thought, right?
Hmm.
An individual chiropractor, individual doctor can only see so much in a day. A
Hmm.
manual therapist can only see X amount of people a day. And I think people don't realize that. You have a max capacity you can do. If you had an 8-hour day, here's a math equation for you, Joe. If you're working 10 hours a day, you take an hour break, so you have a 9-hour work day, and you
Right.
see people every 30 minutes. How many people can you see a day?
You're seeing people every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, so you can
and
only
only
see
working 9 hours.
18 people then, man.
There you go.
Yeah. Hmm.
How much is that 18? If you're charging $100, what's the max you can make a day?
Man, you're only capping at 18, man. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but look though, like I would even push this out a little bit because I've seen this happen in business is that if you can go out and get a higher paying client where you can show them tremendous amount of value, like I'm not talking about jipping people off. I'm talking about you bringing it, you showing up for them, but then you charge for what you're bringing, right?
Right.
If you're able to do that, I think it gives if you can get one of those clients. So if you're at $100 and you're stuck there, if you can find someone that's willing to pay 150 because you're willing to show up for them differently than what you've been doing, right? 150 for them, getting them results, whatever that looks like. I think that will give you the confidence to start upping your actual rates for everyone else because you'll have to raise your actual level to meet the rate a lot of times. What's
There's
your
a technique I talk about in raising rates. So
okay?
I raise rates in the middle of the year, and it's
Why?
usually
Tell me.
like
Tell me.
July. So
During the
everyone that
summertime, which is normally like the worst time to actually raise anything. But explain
yeah.
yourself here, man.
So my theory is
Yeah.
people come back from vacation usually in August,
Yep.
but I've already raised my rates in July. Insurances change their like systems in July. I noticed that as well.
Interesting.
I don't know why a lot of their like rules and regulations changed in July. So what I did was, if let's say I was once I was $100, then I moved up to 125, and I always or 120. So I always did it in bills that they didn't have to get changed. So I always move it incrementally that you don't need change. Like 125, you need change. 120, that's an even number.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so then I did, all right, everyone that's established in my office has their price until the end of the year. Anyone new goes up to 120. All right, okay. Sorry, people paying, no problem. And then October or November, we give them a notice. Rates to the established one, rates are moving up to 120. Okay, a whole year, then a whole another year. I see I'm getting busier. All right, raise the rates again on July. Now we went to from 120 to 150. Simple as that. Why $30? Because I was seeing more patients. What I was noticing, if I get people in, if I'm getting busier, I don't have time. So how do you now you need to get rid of the bad patients that are not going to pay the money and start getting better patients. There's a whole
Dude.
system. I think where people lack is how to get those patients. And
Yeah.
once you give good quality work, you have to keep asking your patients, refer me people you know. I have one patient today. I don't think she's wealthy. She lives in a wealthy area because they lived there for like 27 years in LA.
Yeah.
And the value was probably like it was in Venice. I think the house they bought originally was probably let's like $500,000. It's now worth like 3, right? It's just in that neighborhood with famous people that bought it all the time, right?
Yeah.
And she just refers everyone to me. She plays tennis. She goes to a country club that she goes with a friend who invites her because she can't afford it.
Yeah.
And she just refers everyone to me. Simple as that. It's getting, and I always tell our clients is reach out to your patient that is outgoing, or they work they're a manager in an office because they can tell their employees, their subordinates, hey, go to these guys. You guys are great. If you ever have any kind of aches or pain.
Dude, you laid out a lot right there, and I got to recap a piece of it because I want to make sure that I heard that right because it's simple, but it's genius. It's brilliant to me because a lot of times my clients will talk about raising rates and they're apprehensive, rightfully so. Because one of the first guys I actually sold to out of Atlanta, he went cold turkey into this, right? And he went straight from 80% insurance, 20% cash, and then he went 100% cash, right? And he just had like a extreme drop off, and so he kept dropping his rate so he can try to get people back. It was a whole mess for him. And so anyway, long story short, but what you said though was that you grandfather people in for like 6 months, and
Yeah.
your new patients that you've pretty much around August when everybody's coming back, they have a brand new rate, new patients, right? Lock them in. So you have this staggered approach, so you don't raise the rates on your existing patients until you have a decent base of new people coming through the door that justify the cost. Because if you let's just say you went from 100 to 200, you're like, damn, that's too much. I'm losing people. I'm not getting anybody. Then you don't want to take your existing patients up to that and then lose them.
Yep.
Keep it steady for a while, prove the actual price, make sure that's a good rate for everyone, and then you can go ahead and have a couple people fall off, but you already have new people coming in.
Correct.
That's
And you don't
brilliant,
lose.
bro.
And some people are like, well, my friend's paying. Well, that was he's grandfather in the old price.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't go so high unless you bring in way more added value, like you're giving away massage therapy, acupuncture, other things to justify that price increase like that, like $100 increase.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Think about it. Dentists charge what they charge because they know they want to see you once a blue moon.
Right.
Optometrists, they charge what they charge because they see you once a blue moon. Chiros is like one of those things you can see every day if you really wanted to. So that's why a lot of these chiropractors, like the joint, they know that, and that's why their price is so low because it's a volume game. But they burn out their workers.
Oh man.
But they know if that guy leaves, they'll find some other schmuck to take over. I'm just being honest with you, and I think that's what differentiates. If you want to be a good doctor and you really want to treat people and you want to take it to the next level,
Yeah,
you got to educate yourself. There's no way around it. And you don't have to be like a manual therapist. You could hire. Just knowing how. That's the thing, going back to being a doctor. A lot of times we don't know how to be business people. We just know how to be doctors.
Yeah.
And that's the time you call us. We're there to help.
Well, that's what we do, man. Bro, Roy, this is a perfect way for us to wrap up, brother. Man, always good to have you back on the show. Man, Roy is one of the partners over at MileSight. Guys, got to go check him out, man. And I'll have more of his details in the actual show notes. With that said, we're out of here.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that podcast with Dr. Roy Nissim. You can learn more about his accelerator program over at MileSite, where himself, a couple of marketing agencies, Dr. Serene Muminetti, who's a functional medicine MD, they all come together to figure out how you can build better private practices. So they make an investment up front before you have to pay anything, which is really nice. So it's a different play to have a management company. So if you want more of that information, reach out to Dr. Roy at milesite.com. That's MYOSYTE.com. With that said, thank you so much for tuning in to the Real Value Exchange, and I hope you guys stay phenomenal.